This is Hidden Killers Live with Tony Bruschi, Stacey Cole, and Todd Michaels.
It's the day of reckoning for Sean Diddy Combs. If you're watching us live, if you're not, well, the verdict is coming in. And Sean Diddy Combs, of course, standing condemned, not by gossip columns, but by a jury in a federal courtroom. He's been convicted on 2 counts of transporting individuals across state lines for prostitution, arranging freak-off events with escorts and former partners. He escaped conviction on racketeering and sex trafficking charges, but those acquittals don't erase what he's been found guilty of doing. Now in the day, actually, of his sentencing, Combs has submitted a letter to the judge, and it reads like contrition. And we're gonna hear it. We're gonna listen to the whole letter through a simulated voice of Diddy, and we'll hear, kind of in his own words, while we watch some fine footage that also defines the man. For context. The whole letter, like I said, it reads like contrition, but in reality, it's a calculated reframe. He highlights his charitable work, his family, his supposed spiritual awakening, and the classic tools in a narcissist playbook. He's not simply taking responsibility, he's trying to reposition himself as a man deserving of mercy. What Combs is really trying to avoid is a sentence that forces him to truly own the harm he inflicted. He's trying to preserve his legacy, to shape the narrative before the judge even speaks. He's not just pleading for a shorter prison term, he's pleading to remain in control of his image even as the system closes in. I don't think this is humility. It's a maneuver. And it's exactly the kind of move a narcissist makes when accountability is finally at the door. The victims and the record demand consequences, not spin. And that's what this sentencing will decide. So we don't even know what the sentencing is because literally it's going on as we're recording this. We're going to go through the letter, and joining us to do that, we got Stacey, we got Todd, and we also have Robin Dreeke, retired FBI special agent, former chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program. Diddy also started a class while he was in prison, and he talks about it in the letter, and it's one of those things he's putting up basically on his resume of, dear judge, I think you should let me out because I'm going to go inspire the world.
He's a scholar now.
I know. I said very early on in all this, I said, what's going to happen? He's going to come out of here and he's going to become a preacher. Kind of feels like he almost might be doing that. What's your thoughts, Robin? Just here as we're about to go into sentencing, on what you think he should get versus what you think he will get before we go into the letter and everything else.
What he should get versus what he will get. That's the big question.
Yeah.
I can't believe he got acquitted on so many of the charges as it was. Mm-hmm. So I have no idea. I really don't have any idea. But what's interesting, so when I first saw about his class, the first thing that struck me was the class is about him because Diddy's in the title.
Yeah.
Then, of course, the curiosity strikes in. So I immediately did a deep dive. All right, how many other inmates conduct classes? How many do these things? And also then I said, how often has Diddy done these things in the past? When was the first time he did these things? So I'm always looking for what? Mm-hmm. That arc.
Yeah.
And so I discovered the arc and it came to where we are now. And so then you ask yourself, had he not been in jail, would he have done such a philanthropic type thing? No. So I don't see remorse here. I see, now granted, the other first impression I had was, oh, this guy's genius. Mm-hmm. Just, and then you look at the content, and I'm sure, so here's what's interesting. I'm sure, because he is talented, and so this is where we see someone with that objective eye. He's got a lot of talent, and he's got a lot to offer, but it's so corrupted by that self-serving narcissism that it's a shame it's getting lost in that, because I'm sure, like when he first started his first school years ago, it was for inner city youth. I'm trying to look through my notes right now to find a title of it. It got great reviews. He was doing good things, but then if you look at the arc of him doing those things to serve a community, his involvement got more distant. He started handing it off to people. And even in the prison, I looked at this, he's got a teaching assistant. So how much is he really doing? I mean, who gets a teaching assistant? You're a freaking convict. So it's a shame because I think people like him, you didn't get to where they are without having talent. And I get this feeling that it's being wasted. But yeah, this is, to me, it's an arc part of his manipulation, because you don't go from being what he's accused of to all of a sudden having this aha moment before he's sentenced. These are kind of things that you go to prison after 10, 15, 20 years, and during that process, then you have your aha moment in life. This is smart. It's just the Titanic hits or is coming up on an ice. You turn that rudder hard over. Ship starts slowly moving, and you still hit the iceberg, but not as much. So 0 to 100 on him, I don't believe it.
Wait till you hear the letter, and we'll break it down and we'll stop at places. But I also want to say, 50 Cent also released a statement, or a letter to the judge, if you will, this morning, and I'll read it right here. I'm gonna have to turn to do this. I have had an ongoing dispute with Puffy for over 20 years. He's very dangerous. It starts, Dear Judge Submarinian. He's very dangerous. Multiple times I have feared for my life. I think you should consider the safety of the general public, Your Honor, before unleashing him upon them. There hasn't been enough time for him to reform or make any adjustments, despite his trying to teach a class in there. As you're already aware, the government has spent the maximum amount of money on deploying federal agencies, which appeared to be an army, in 2 locations simultaneously. Later, his son, who's dealing with his own rape allegations, claimed that the feds had hit the wrong house. Anyway, Diddy's only going to return to hiring more male sex workers and keeping most of the baby oil away from the general public.
Oh my!
And
goodness.
babies need it. It's what he says. My Netflix doc on this scandalous subject is coming soon. So it's kind of a dig and kind of I think serious at the same time, but also he's been finding a lot of humor in the darkness of this, as have we. But that's the statement from 50 Cent this morning.
Look at behavior is rewarding. I mean, just even the acquittal, look at the behavior it's rewarding. I really hope that the judge does some justice for the victims that didn't have justice by the fact of the sentence, not the sentence, the convictions. I mean, just what a sham.
Let's start to listen to the letter here, and we'll stop if you want it to stop. If you want to make a comment, just raise your hand, throw something at your screen, do whatever you need to do. Just scream "stop" or something like that.
Careful what you wish for.
Or Tony sing a song.
All right, here we go.
Dear Judge Supermania, I hope this letter finds you well and in good health and spirits. Thank you for the opportunity to express my thoughts to you. First and foremost, I want to apologize and say how sincerely sorry I am for all of the hurt and pain that I have caused others by my conduct. I take full responsibility and accountability for my past wrongs. This has been the hardest 2 years of my life, and I have no one to blame for my current reality and situation but myself. In my life, I have made many mistakes, but I am no longer running from them. I am so sorry for the hurt that I caused, but I understand that the mere words, "I'm sorry," will never be good enough, as these words alone cannot erase the pain from the past. Over the past 13 months, I have had to look in the mirror like never before. My pain became my teacher. My sadness was my motivator. I have to admit, my downfall was rooted in my selfishness. The scene and images of me assaulting Cassie play over and over in my head daily. I literally lost my mind. I was dead wrong for putting my hands on the woman that I loved. I'm sorry for that and always will be. My domestic violence will always be a heavy burden that I will have to forever carry. The remorse, the sorrow, the regret, the disappointment, the shame. I honestly feel sorry for something that I couldn't forgive someone else for if they put their hands on one of my daughters. This is why it is so hard for me to forgive myself. It is like a deep wound that leaves an ugly scar. Your Honor, I thought I was providing for Jane concerning her and her child, but after hearing her testimony, I realized that I hurt her. For this, I am deeply sorry. And
Let's
I lost
pause.
my way. I got lost.
That's the part that he's talking about the relationships about Cassie, and then there's the other Jane Doe that was brought up in the trial. That's who he's addressing there. But he's going to go into other areas on this. So I want to talk first about the Cassie and the other one that he thought he was providing for. What are you getting so far? And I should note this too, that it's not Diddy actually reading this. So before you go, oh, he sounds heartless. It's AI. Okay.
Yeah.
That is an AI version of him reading the letter.
It feels like a song. It sounds like he wrote I can't. I haven't had coffee today. Help me. Sorry. Let me start that over. It sounds like lyrics. Like he is writing a song. Did it have kind of? I mean, obviously it was the cadence, but to me it felt like there was a bridge of some sort.
Oh, believe me, that idea ran through my mind last night when I was putting that together. I mean, I was like literally thinking of like, ooh, with AI, I could like literally turn this into lyrics. I could have him rap it. I could put it to beats. And then I said, it's midnight. I'd like to go to bed.
Yeah, I get that.
And so you get classical music and Diddy reading it. That's what you got. No, I mean, look, it's very eloquently written. I'll give him that. He wrote it pretty well, and I'm guessing, he had how long to craft this letter and really make sure the final edit was going to be solid. And if you don't understand human behavior and you don't understand the arc of his behavior, you don't understand his baseline, and you just are taking this at face value, it sounds like someone who's really reformed. And then you realize he's a raging narcissist. And
I mean, there's a good number of statements in there that are focused on how he feels and the impact on him. But again, if you're victim focused, which is what you should be, you wouldn't say anything about the impact on you. You should only be talking about, if this is genuine, sincere, and he's empathetic, the impact on others. Again, we can compare and contrast. Just think, and I know I keep bringing this up because I think it's a great example of injustice in our system. Richard Allen, Richard Allen, who is convicted of murdering those two sweet little girls. Everything he's ever said behind bars was the impact and being sorry for his wife. He never once said the suffering he went through, not once in anything he's ever said. And all you hear and hear for Diddy, because he had 13 months of being uncomfortable, is the impact on me. And it's interesting too, because he's bringing up, I mean, to me, this is it's strategic in what he put in there. So he's actually talking about people and what he did to them. And those aren't even the things he was convicted on. So why even bring it up? See what I mean? I mean, I get it. It's a strategic move to show he's sorry for the things that he should have been convicted on, like the assaulting of women and all that malfeasance, but he wasn't. So he's going to apologize for stuff he didn't get convicted of anyway.
It's controlling the narrative. He wants to put it all behind, and now he wants to be an advocate going forward, and he's gonna be the example. He's gonna be the shining beacon on the hill. And everyone's gonna come to Diddy. He's gonna have a big statue out there, It's just gonna happen to look like Jesus, but it's gonna be Diddy.
So here's what's gonna work. I mean, everyone. You either like him or don't like him. If you like him, this is perfect. If you don't like him, it is what it is. And that's why it's very challenging, because when you have such a large cultist following around you, that cultish following could be rattled a little bit by this prosecution, but then he's acquitted of things. And now he's saying sorry. So I think he probably, in his cultish following, didn't lose a single person. Maybe one, because
I don't think he has a huge cultish following, though. I mean,
I hope not.
I think more people are more apt to go listen to R. Kelly than they are to Diddy, and I think
hope so.
Diddy was probably worse at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously not by what he was found guilty of, but it just opinion-wise, and if you're going to believe the survivors and the stories and the sheer volume of the hundreds of them that have come out about Diddy. What I'm worrying about with all of this is the public's ability to forget. The public's ability to forget, because it feels icky to think that, in the 90s, that you were listening to some of this music, and there's a lot of positive memories associated with it, ew, gosh, he did all these sort of things. I don't want to think about that. I just want to go back to when he was just Diddy, when he was showing up on TRL, when it was those days we didn't know what was going on behind the curtains, even though we know a lot of dark stuff was going on back then too. And the public's ability to just be like, we're good. I don't want to call it forgiving, but cognitive dissonance, but then still enabling the person's art to exist. And it doesn't mean you have to disconnect those pieces of your life and I guess, remember them fondly, but we have a hard time separating the two. We do with R. Kelly, we do with Michael Jackson, we do with all those sort of things. And whether you want to, again, I'm not going to go into the rabbit holes of who's guilty and who's not, but very strong allegations against all these people and very tangible evidence against all of them that really do not paint the picture of human beings that anyone in their right mind, I think, for the most part, would consider to be safe around children or good.
Or anyone.
Or anyone, yeah.
They're just really unhealthy people that started out maybe healthy. And again, it's so... Isn't it a tragedy is when you see someone have such talent and they just take it and they get wrapped up in their own self-narcissistic ways and they throw it in the trash can. But to your point too, I think it will because this is so bland, because the charges that he was convicted of were so bland, it's not nearly the impact that's going to keep people running away from him. I think it's just going to get faded. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens next. Here's what I'm really interested in. Once he's sentenced today, will he continue to do those classes? Once he's sentenced today, if it's a light sentence and gets out, will he do great work for communities himself, or will he pass it off to someone else for image, rebranding and rebuilding? I mean,
I think he's going to do it. I mean, I think he's going to be out there. I think he's going to try and be a motivational person, and I think you'll get some people who will believe it. But I don't think it's coming from the right spot. It's coming from, I need to feed my ego. I need to feed this thing inside of me, rather than. I mean, people can look at it all different ways. Well, maybe that is redemption. Maybe that is somebody that truly did find the light and they're changing it, but. Presentation is to the outside world is not necessarily the same as what's going on inside somebody, and only that person can truly know it. But I think any of us, who study human behavior for 2 seconds, can look and go,
You'll see the leakage. You'll see the leakage.
Yeah,
I mean,
you'll see it. Yeah.
And to that point, I think here's what we're good at on this is, no matter what happens with whether it's politics or religions or beliefs or covering these cases, we have been swayed back and forth, by new data coming in. I mean, the way we covered Karen Reed, we were back and forth on that because as new data comes in, new testimonies coming in, we're swaying back and forth on these. And same thing on the Delphi case. I mean, when we first went in there, I wasn't really thinking about him. We're thinking about, how corrupt the police department was or how weird and strange. And then we're looking at the defense attorneys that are talking about, Odinism and everything, like, what the hell? And then all of a sudden you meet him, Richard Allen, and you're like, oh my God, this wasn't about anything except them torturing this guy. Again, when you can maintain that objectivity, when you're taking the new data on things, it's much easier to see these arcs of what is. I'm to that point, I have to give these long narrative answers to. I think it's going to be really, really obvious, really, really quickly if you can maintain objectivity on watching what he does afterwards, and if there's congruency between the words, actions, and deeds, because that's all I'm ever looking for is to see if someone. It's always think about this, so everyone can do this. If someone makes you feel creepy, it's because one, you're not close enough to have your own confirmation bias on liking or disliking, because that'll really screw up, what you're observing potentially, unless you can remove yourself. But if someone makes you feel creepy, it's because there's incongruency between words, actions, and deeds. There's tempos that are off. They're pressing things on you. And so those are the things that are off-putting to us, because what's creepy? Creepy are things and people that don't make us feel safe, because there's a hidden agenda. There's a attempt of manipulation or subterfuge or something like that. And so that's why observing him, since I never liked him or disliked him, and with all these people we cover, it's really easy to kind of sit back and look at these arcs and say, well, here's boom, 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 boom. And for him to go from 0 to 100, self-serving to altruistically do these things, likelihood, damn close to 0. Now, will we make the attempt? Sure.
And I think, excuse me, I got to take a sip of water here.
That's all right.
As I'm about to talk, I'm coughing. I think one of the key things on anyone's prison when they're looking at Diddy or a character like this that has committed crimes as the ones that he has committed, or the ones he's accused of committing, and whether you want to believe it or not, and just believing the stories and the survivors and the sheer amount of people who have stories about Diddy, is believing and understand and going one way or the other. I believe a lot of things live in the gray, not with people like this.
Right.
People like this, they are either redeemable or they are not. They are either rehabilitatable or not. I'm in the camp of someone like Diddy is not. Maybe on the surface, maybe he will not reoffend technically, but I don't think you're truly changing the person. I don't think a person like that can truly be changed. I just don't. If you have it in you at some point in your life that you think stomping on your girlfriend's head in an elevator bank is a good idea, I don't care how fucked up you are. I don't care what drugs you're on. I don't care whatever you're doing. If that's ever a point in your life that this is a action you are capable of doing and taking, you're irredeemable. You're capable of doing it. You can do it again. You will likely do it again statistically. And I think there's just some people that are just trash, and there really isn't any fixing them. And that's how I feel about Sean Combs. That's my opinion there.
I probably agree about 99% on that. I only say there's like a 1% because, I'm thinking that as you're doing this, you always see my eyes go up to the left as I'm thinking about these things.
Sure.
So yes, if you're dealing with child predators, pedophiles, Koberger types that have a brain malformation, which we don't really know about Diddy on that end of it. But here's what I say, and to your point though, is he redeemable? In order to be redeemable, so think about this. Do our little thought experiments that I love to do. If someone has risen this high, in order to hit bottom, so to have an aha moment in your life, then you have to go to bottom to be able to start that climb back up to humanity. Mm-hmm. It's that rock bottom we all hit. I don't think he ever hit a bottom. So if he's up here and prison's down here, he probably fell in right in here. He even said the word uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
He was uncomfortable for 13 months. Is that really a bottom that you're going to have these aha moments?
No. And if you know how narcissists and people like this work, this is just part of the path. This is part of the show. This is part of the play that they're going to do for survival. And look, they're trying to survive on their own. I don't necessarily know that he's sitting there plotting, necessarily nefariously. I think he may think he's doing the right thing, but I think he has such a broken brain and so incapable of feeling empathy for other human beings that that's why it always feels weird and it feels off, because the capability for empathy, in my opinion, is not there. It doesn't exist. And when that doesn't exist in a human being, that makes them a very dangerous human being. And with the propensity and the power and the history that this man has, the odds of him falling back into something like this or just doing this stuff again behind closed doors, insanely high.
So let me throw something in.
To find it.
Sorry, Robin.
So
he is now sober for the first time in 25 years. He's off the Xanax. He's off the alcohol.
Maybe.
As of right now, until he gets out, I can't imagine he can start popping bottles the second that ends.
Well, but I don't ever want to defend this man, but maybe the substances really were causing a lot of the issues. So what if we see a sober Diddy?
No.
What does that look like?
That's like saying, oh, it's okay. Maybe a sober husband doesn't beat his wife. Now that he's not drinking anymore, he's not going to do that. No. If you're capable of doing it, you're capable of doing it, fucked up or not.
I get that, but I also, now he's got a different baseline. So what?
Sure.
And again, I'm not defending the guy. I think he's absolute scum. But what if this is his path to redemption? Could it work?
No.
Tony says no. Robin, Todd, anyone?
So if he hit, to your point, Stacey, I've been around beautifully raging alcoholics and substance abusers in my life as well. And when So if indeed he's sober, because there's ways to get around that in prison as well, especially if you're connected like Diddy is. So I don't know the circumstances of the prison he's in and the connections he was able to maintain, because I don't think he really truly hit a bottom there, because he's Diddy. Now that being said, now if sobriety took hold, then it's not a 0 to 100. It's a slow crawl and walk back. So as many years as it took him to fall into this, it would be at least as many, if not double, to come back out. So I'm edging more on the Tony. No.
Okay.
No. There is no redemption. No.
I
I mean, will it, is it a road, a bump in the road, a little speed bump? Sure. I mean, it's like Robin said, it's not 0 to 100, but it's still there. It's still, again, it's one of those things. Like, there's certain people in this world, if you're diddling with kids, and I'm not saying Diddy diddled with kids, I'm saying people that do that. If that's in you, that's in you. That's not coming out.
Yeah.
And if you're able to beat your woman, beat your wife, beat your girlfriend, beat anybody mercilessly that you care about, and do these sort of things, and have such unhealthy relationships like he was having, then that's in you. And you're not, I mean, you may change your ways and go, well, it's not for me anymore, because it makes other people look at me like I'm a monster. It's because you're a fucking monster.
So he went. So again, now we'll go on that side, because I was really focusing in on the physical abuse he was doing, but he's also an amazing amount of accused sexual abuse going on. So basically, between the physical abuse, sexual abuse, psychological abuse, he lived completely without any moral, ethical boundaries for how long? That's a long time, and so
decades. In
order for him to start reintegrating a functional brain with ethics and morals, again, he's not going to wake up and say, oh my God, everything I was doing in life was completely back-assed wrong. And you know why he doesn't think that? Because he's teaching a class on how to be Diddy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, this is a good thing.
Yes.
He's
not teaching a class on sobriety. He's not teaching a class on how to get over sexually abusing people. He's not teaching a class on how not to be violent. He's teaching a class on how to be Diddy.
Yeah.
Isn't that telling?
Yes. It's 1,000% telling.
So if he's teaching a class on how to be him, does he really think he's wrong?
No.
Do you think Masterclass is going to hire him to do seminars now?
God, I hope not.
God,
Stranger things have happened. That's the reality of this. Stranger things have happened, and you just don't know. The fact that we're even sitting here, that he's so he didn't get charged on some of these, or didn't get found guilty on some of these things, is kind of nuts.
If he wanted to keep his name in his class, if he really wanted to do a good job of showing the redemption, the class should have been called "How Not to Be Diddy."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good one.
How do you?
I love
free
doing
game
things live,
Diddy.
Because as the brain's working live on this, I'm thinking, so if all he is a complete self-centered narcissistic ass that really abused women, sexually abused people, psychologically tormented and manipulated people, and he's teaching a class on how to be him, is he really redeemed? Is he really hit his bottom? I mean, no, he thinks the way he's rolling is absolutely fantastic, and he's going to show everyone else how to do it too. And all the other narcissists around him in there saying, oh yeah, bravo, man, I want to do that now too, because I sucked at the way I was doing it. I want to do the way he was doing it. Mm-hmm. Friggin' losers.
And that's and that's what's scary to me about society, because I think it's beyond an epidemic of narcissists that we have out there.
Yeah.
That look at this and go, well, I'm gonna learn from him. Seems like a good one to learn from, because they relate to it, because they relate in some dark way that they can't necessarily speak out loud. And I'm not saying it's because they're out there necessarily doing the sort of exact things he was doing, but the narcissistic way of thinking, they attract one another, and it's like it reaffirms the behavior, it reaffirms unhealthy ways of living, and that's what they feed off of. And
it is. And so funny, because even with my own content, so here I am. I mean, everyone knows me. I am the glass half full positivity, how to forge trust, healthy, strong relationships, and how to recognize people that aren't. that kind of content is, I know it is, I sell it, I propagate it, I write books about it. It does okay. But if I really want to be super successful, like people in my same genre, if I just title something or did something or put something out there, how to manipulate the living fuck out of someone, it would sell gangbusters. Because that's what people want. They don't say they want it, but that's exactly what they want. Never in a million years would I do something like that, because but that's what they want. And that's so Diddy's selling under this nice guise how to be this good, great CEO and entrepreneur. But what you're really selling is how to be like me. A self-centered narcissist who's going to manipulate the fuck out of everyone. Look at me. First time you got me say that on the air.
I almost feel like we need to give an award. Yes. Wow.
I was very choosy, but I don't, I'm not that guy that does that, but now I'm branded forever now. Right?
Hey, choosy moms choose Jeff. And
I just want to say, just one real quick comment, and then we can move on. I think as a society, we are so drawn by celebrity, and you look around us and you look at all the people in power that have celebrity in the world, in our country, all that kind of stuff. That's what we're drawn to as a society, which I think is very sad. But that's why I think that he will come out of this okay in the long run. He's going to walk out of this thing. It's not going to be a dark cloud over his head. We've seen it with other artists. We talked about Chris Brown a little bit yesterday and what he did and where he's at now. We're so drawn to celebrity, you could almost get away with doing what he did. And maybe he kind of is, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Todd, I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, and because here's what he's actually selling. I don't get on anyone. I take note when people use word modifiers before things, like ethical leadership. I hear the word ethical leadership, and I just think to myself, oh, you actually are just double down. Leadership is about others.
Isn't that supposed to be?
Yeah, exactly. And then what he's actually doing here, he's trying to sell, because people can rationalize themselves. Oh, it's actually okay. I'm learning from Diddy ethical manipulation. Just what? No, it's not. It's just crap and garbage. So if you want to learn how to be a loser, just take his class. I think it's a fantastic idea.
There's more here. We are watching the video, or we're listening to the apology of Diddy. This has been not the real voice of Diddy. This is the AI version of Diddy, but we wanted to try and create and make it, I guess, as authentic as it could be. I thought it would sound better coming from the sound of Diddy versus me reading it aloud. And there's more in this. Let's continue. This is a letter that Diddy has sent to Judge Submarinian prior to his sentencing. Basically, it's an ask for grace letter. Let's continue.
Lost in my journey, lost in the drugs and the excess. My downfall was rooted in my selfishness. I have been humbled and broken to my core. Jail is designed to break you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Over the past year, there have been so many times that I wanted to give up. There have been some days I thought I would be better off dead. The old me died in jail, and a new version of me was reborn. Prison would change you or kill you. I choose to live. Every day since my incarceration, as difficult as my circumstances currently are, I have made the best of my time by reading books, writing, working out, or in therapy, obtaining the tools and knowledge to deal with my past drug abuse and anger issues. I have been putting in the work and working diligently to become the best version of myself, to ensure that I never make the same mistakes again. I realize that I am in a situation where no amount of money, power, or fame can save me. Only God can save me. My grandmother used to teach me that God makes no mistakes and that everything he does is for your good. I believe that a bad situation can be used for good. Although this situation has been the hardest and darkest time in my life, good things have come out of my incarceration. For starters, I am now sober for the first time in 25 years. I have been trying my best to deal with my drug abuse and anger issues and take accountability as well as positive steps towards healing. One of the most beautiful things I have experienced is being asked by my fellow inmates to teach and mentor them. They wanted to learn what I did to become a successful businessman. I was inspired by their hunger and desire to learn information in order to not only set goals, but achieve any goal or dream that their hearts desired. I started teaching a 6-week program called Free Game, title given by my fellow inmates, which I was able to have approved and sanctioned by the Bureau of Prisons, BOP. I don't just teach about my success, I also teach about my mistakes and failures. It has truly been a blessing to do something positive in a negative situation. It has been beautiful to see the newfound hope in my fellow inmates' eyes. The most shocking thing was to see the unity and the peace this class has produced. As you are probably aware, jails and prisons are segregated places. However, in our class, we have Black, Spanish, white, and Asian all together in one room, learning and working together. We even have an interpreter for the Spanish-speaking inmates. The biggest miracle that I've seen with this class is all of the gangs, such as Bloods, Crips, MS-13, Trinitarios, and 18th Streets in one room working together. I am also proud to say that since this class started, there have been no fights in our unit. This class has also helped me in my time of need and despair. Being able to do something good for others has also given me much needed hope. God blessed me with this opportunity to help others, and I will continue to do so. I ask you for mercy today, not only for my sake, but for the sake of my children. God, bless me with 7 beautiful children, 3 sons and 4 daughters. Their names are Quincy, Justin, Christian, Chance, Jesse, Delia, and the newest addition, a 2-year-old daughter, Love. 4 of my children lost their mother, Kim Porter, as she tragically passed away in 2018. I am their only parent. I have failed my children as a father. My father was murdered when I was 3 years old, so I know firsthand what it is to not have a father. More than anything, I just want the opportunity to return home and be the father that they need and deserve. God also blessed me with the greatest mother in the world. My mother sacrificed her life and dreams to provide for me and my younger sister, Keisha. She worked 3 jobs to make sure we had a roof over our heads, clothes on our backs, and the best education. My mother is now 84 years old, and she recently had brain surgery. Despite her own health challenges, she attended my trial every day. I have always been her primary caregiver. It breaks my heart that I put myself in this situation, and for the first time, I am unable to be there for my mother when she needs me most. As I write you this letter, I am scared to spend another second away from my mother and my children. I no longer care about the money or the fame. There is nothing more important to me than my family. I understand that one factor the court has to consider is deterrence. Deterrence for me and for others to ensure that no one follows in my footsteps and makes the same mistakes.
Let's pause for a second there.
I have been locked in one room.
I have thoughts.
I just want to say before you get to your thoughts, brilliance on using the classical music, Tony, and also I know the font has something to do with video game that you use, but it's also The Price is Right. So I'm totally getting into this today, and also.
Why is Price is Right? Yeah, I didn't even. I grabbed it. I literally made it at like 11:30 last night. When I saw the letter come out, I'm like, my mind was spinning. I'm like, what can we create for the show? And I was thinking, well, we could turn this into like a rap song. And I'm like, I don't want to stay up till 3. So this is what you got. You got the classical music and Diddy reading it. And then I thought the irony is we're going to have to show, the horrible things he did. It's all in full context, because I think if you're gonna make this apology, okay, well, let's see what you're apologizing for in real time, so we don't never forget exactly what's going on. I want to say this because Stacey, I want to hear your thoughts, but I want to say this is a thought I had earlier and it completely kept eluding me, but I remembered it. I said, no redemption. Here's the one way. If he was in some sort of horrific accident and completely lost all memory and consciousness of who he was, and it was like literally a total reset. Like, that's it. That's like, just like when that happens, like you don't know your name, you don't remember anything about your past, like literally you're relearning life. That's the only way I could see it being some sort of reset. But even then, I'd question genetics a bit too, of how much that plays a role in his decision making. That's beyond his control. Where even the reset wouldn't work. It's pre-programmed. That's it. That's the one scenario.
Okay.
Stacey?
All right. So, Tony, much to your dismay, I tend to go back to my personal experiences. But Diddy brought up his mother. And I was just in a position probably 2.5 months ago where I confronted somebody who did some really shitty, horrible things. And I said, what would your mother think if she saw this? And I'm sure she saw it from heaven. And the look was just like,
That's what you said. I'm sure she saw
yes,
it.
yes.
That's great.
And for those of you who followed along in my story, you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah,
like,
you're damn right.
Didn't think of that.
You know,
Was he surprised by the comment, or was he like actually feeling it like, oh, I didn't think like she might be watching me?
I don't know. I don't know where it came from because it was going on for 1.5 2 years, and mom died a year ago. So, you know, she was around for some of it. She was up there for some of it. So she saw some of
I
it.
feel like somebody's watching me.
Yeah.
I knew it.
But I wanted to throw that out there so maybe the next time things wouldn't work so well because like mom's watching, you know? But yeah, I want Diddy's mom to sit and watch this video of the hallway. Yeah. She needs to see this if she hasn't.
She must be so proud.
So they're
Exactly.
all, you know, we saw her. Before, I'm not impressed with her. So I'm listening to this. It's, you know, I love we made all the comments before we listened to and heard the second half because they're all still spot on, right, accurate. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I'll add to it is he's doing a really good job. I think his lawyer did a really good job. I don't think he wrote this, of using every single lever of influence he possibly could. So we heard the beginning, a little bit of remorse for beating people. Then we have a little bit of remorse for this. And now we're using another lever of influence called sympathy. Sympathy is a great lever of influence on people. Now be sympathetic. Don't take me away from my kids. I'm the only person I have. Yeah. Don't take me away from my mother. She's all that I have. I'm all that she has. Yeah. Right. So, you know, so for the benefit of society at large, you need to release me because I am such a good influence on my kids and my mother. I can't do this straight. There's no way of living hell.
Can you imagine the judge sitting there just going, really? Really? Seriously?
Well, maybe. So that's what, you know, before I started really diving into true crime and us covering such really bad systems of justice, I would say, yeah, never in a million years would a judge buy off on any of this. But you never know these days, man. You know, when you see a prosecution do such a poor job in this case, I don't put it past anyone.
Well, here's what the judge has said so far.
Perfect layup for you.
The judge says Combs' defense narrative is flatly inconsistent with both reality and his accepting responsibility.
Good. There you go.
So that's how the letter's landing as of right now. The full quote is, in general, the narrative that he and his attorneys have put forth that this case involves nothing more than adults paying for time, not sex, is flatly inconsistent with both reality and his accepting responsibility. Yeah. The judge, does not seem to be taking this lightly and good.
Yeah, can think about this too. So we're going back to that letter. What's the only things he's covering in the letter? The things you saw videos for. Mm-hmm. He didn't talk about all the accusing stuff and all what people are saying about baby oil, about lacing baby oil, about trafficking children. He didn't cover any of that stuff in there because he only covered stuff that actually people saw video for. He didn't cover anything. Right, exactly. I don't believe it. I'm glad the judge said that. Good.
The prosecutor saying today is about accountability and justice, accountability for the defendant who committed serious federal crimes repeatedly over the course of 15 years, and justice for the public, including for the victims whose lives have been shattered by the defendant's acts of abuse and exploitation. This isn't just a case about freak-offs or hotel nights, she continued. It's a case with real victims who have suffered real harm at the hands of the defendant. It's about a man who did horrible things to other people to satisfy his own sexual gratification.
There it is.
And here's another thing too. I think.
And by the way, he has
a
a speaking engagement booked next week. Combs does. Continue on.
Yeah, freaking hell. So, and here's what another tragedy if they don't throw everything they can at him. And that's because think about the amazing, because as you're reading that, Tony, I'm thinking about, all these young kids and upcoming amazing artists that thought this is the way that I have to do it to be successful. When this comes to light, how many great artists that would otherwise be these amazing people in the world say, you know what? Screw that. I'm not getting into this world. I mean, just think about it's just related to politics too. You see all the horrendous garbage that they're doing in politics right now. So these great leaders that could really change the world in course of everything are saying, no, that's not for me, man, because these people are nuts. And so if they don't do something about guys like Diddy, and in Diddy's case in particular, what amazing talent will we miss out on? Because parents won't let their kids get into this. I wouldn't want my kids to get into this. I mean, see what I mean? I said the ripple effect, if you don't do justice here, like is saying in what the prosecutor's saying, we could really be missing out on a lot. So I really hope it sends a powerful message that, hey, we can right the wrong of this industry, so we can be benefited by these amazing people that do have this great talent, because they do make the world a better place when they share it.
Well, all these people that are coming out saying, don't let him out. I fear for my safety. I mean,
that's a problem.
That's a problem. There's all these human beings that now feel this way, and it doesn't matter that Sean wrote a letter and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, God did this for me, and I started a class, and blah 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 blah." Yep. Great. now these people are fearful for their safety and their lives because of his previous pattern of behavior that really doesn't seem to be stopping here. This letter, if anything, just confirms the narcissism continues on. It doesn't. I get nothing out of this letter that makes me feel like, okay, he's grounded in reality. It's saying what he knows people want to hear.
Yeah,
I brought this up with Eric Faddis. Was it yesterday? The days are all blurring together for me.
I think so. Yeah,
but the people, who are outside, who have dealt with him, who are concerned that he's going to get out, they're freaking terrified right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They are terrified. They are living under this umbrella of terror. And what happens if he gets out? Are they going to be protected from him? And even with him in prison, he has such a wide net of people around him that these people may be in harm's way regardless if he's in prison or not.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there's just so much. There's a little bit more to the letter. Let's listen to the last piece of Diddy's apology, plea for leniency letter to the judge.
With 25 other incarcerated people sharing the same one room, in this room that I share, there are no windows. There is no natural clean air. There is no sunlight, and we all live in one room. We eat, sleep, use the toilet, take showers, and prepare meals all in the same room. The conditions that my actions have placed me in are inhumane. I don't tell you this for pity or sympathy. I'm simply sharing my truth and the truth of my fellow incarcerated people. We have no clean drinking water, and we boil our drinking water. We all share one washing machine, which is broken. I am surrounded by drugs and live every day with the constant threat of being stabbed or losing my life. Again, I'm not expecting pity or sympathy, but my time at MDC has changed me forever. Prior to being in jail, I took care of and was present for my family. Being in jail, and because of my conduct, I lost the ability to care for my mother. I lost the ability to effectively raise and support my children. I have missed my 3 daughters' proms and graduations. I have missed taking one of my daughters to college. I have lost the freedom to teach my 2-year-old how to speak, dance, play, or be there to console her when she falls down or has a nightmare. I started from nothing and worked hard to earn everything I had. But because of my conduct, I have lost all of my businesses. I have lost my career. I lost the charter schools that I started, and I have destroyed my reputation and stained the reputation of those that worked for me. I lost my being present with my family. Between of all of my losses and lessons, I can state for a fact that I will never be in another criminal courtroom again, and I do not believe any other person would do anything similar from fear of similar punishment. If you give me a chance, I would like the opportunity to share my story with people too. prevent at least one person from making the mistakes that I've made. I can't change the past, but I can change the future. I know that God put me here to transform me. Since incarceration, I've gone through a spiritual reset. I'm on a journey. That will take time and hard work. I'm proud to say I'm working harder than I ever have before. I'm committed to the journey of remaining a drug-free, non-violent, and peaceful person. I thank God that I'm stronger, wiser, clean, clear, and sober. God makes note of mistakes. I realize that this trial has received a tremendous amount of global press, and Your Honor may be inclined to make an example out of me. I would ask Your Honor to make me an example of what a person can do if afforded a second chance. If you allow me to go home to my family, I promise I will not let you down, and I will make you proud. Today, I humbly ask you for another chance to be a better father, another chance to be a better son, another chance to be a better leader in my community, and another chance to live a better life. I am writing this not to gain any sympathy or pity. This experience is simply the truth of my existence and has changed my life forever, and I will never commit a crime again. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sean Combs.
Nope.
Well,
nope.
it must
nope,
be true.
Nope.
If he says it,
Nope.
it must be true.
Nope. Nope.
Did any of those things ever really matter to him, though? The charter schools, the laundry list of things he listed off, or were they all just a means to feed his narcissistic urges to control people and places and everything around him? Was there truly good behind any of that? I guess is the question. Or was it all the ruse? Was it all the curtain for the public to see, look how great he is. Look what a wonderful philanthropist he is. He does this, he does that. And it's nothing off of his back. He's got enough money, to rule a frickin' country. So, yes, the public thinks that, but behind the curtain, it's, freak off land.
Yeah, I looked it up because it's what I do. The first thing he ever did when he started like that charter school and stuff, the first reviews that came in on it were decent, but it fell off pretty rapidly after that because what happened was he would set it up, he showed up, and then he just kept handing stuff off. So everything he did from that point on was just all about image management, just like this. I mean, if anyone's ever wondering how to put into practice persuasion and influence from Robert Cialdini's book Influence. This is what it is. Everything out of here is textbook influence and persuasion intended for an effect of sympathy. Mm-hmm. And I mean, how many times is he going to throw down family? How many is he going to do this? But he never did it before in life. And Stacey, to your point, I saw you do the same thing too about surrounded by drugs in jail. Yep. See, I told you. No, I watch a lot on TikTok. A lot of
apparently, yeah.
My question is, what, they have access to boil their own water?
That's frightening.
So they do have. Depends on the facility. They have their own small kitchen spaces that if you get stuff from the commissary, you can actually prepare or have your own food. They're allowed to bring very, very limited things back. From the mess halls. They can't bring fruit or anything like that back because actually people will make jail room hooch from fermenting it. So there's a lot of stuff that they're not allowed to have that's contraband. But again, you pay the people off. You can get contraband in because obviously there's drugs there.
I would. The boiling the water was like, well, wouldn't that be a weapon?
It sounds like a weapon.
Yeah. We'll see. I've never heard of boiling water, but
that's what I'm wondering. Like, are they you have access to boiling water? Like that would be a pretty powerful weapon.
Yeah.
Just to throw that at somebody. That's why
maybe
I'm like,
he's got special privileges because he's Diddy.
So I'm saying I don't believe anything that he says.
I mean, I guess that might just be the answer. Is like it's just,
or he saw it once or heard about it once, and it becomes. I mean, that's what we do in life. So very rarely do people actually lie like complete fabrication. What typically people do is they do massive exaggerations and they fill in gaps with stories that they'll believe. And we were talking about this earlier. I think he totally believes. That he's empathetic because he redefines what empathy is. Empathy is where I give money to someone. That is actually different than what actually empathy is, but that's what he's defining it as. And so I think he's just one of those people that's redefined life according to his own dictionary.
Well, and he's not talking about the victims as much as I need him to. He's talking about himself. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
The victims were that first 3-minute block, Stacey.
Yeah.
Was that not enough for you?
Apparently not. I am so needy.
His true victims are his kids and his mother. You know, they're the ones who are really suffering without him. His poor daughters that had to go to prom without him. I'm like, good. Man, maybe we can save some other kids by keeping him the hell away from him.
It's the last few people in his orbit that like will give him the time of day is probably really what it is. What kind of person would believe this letter? I mean, what's the profile of an individual who hears this thing and goes, "Damn, he's telling the truth."
Someone who wants to. It really comes down to that. It's someone who wants to, and there's always people that want to, and there's always people that are conspiracy theory people. I mean, how many times it doesn't matter how solid a case is, doesn't matter how solid evidence and data ranks up against people. There's people that are never going to believe it. I've had people reach out to me after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, said that shooter that shot him, that assassin, that 20-year-old kid. Oh no, it's not him. It's a frame. And I'm what? Everything. I've never seen anything more solid in recent years where it was him. I mean, it's his DNA. It's his rifle. It's his grandfather's rifle. The parents turned him in voluntarily.
He's on camera?
Yeah. Oh, it's not him, man. And I'm like, see what I mean? So if you don't want to believe something, it's amazing the stories our brains will make up. And so there will be people that believe this. There are people that thinks he shouldn't even have to said it because he's completely innocent anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, and I guess then what is the driver of wanting to believe it?
Oh, because to not believe. So if you invested a lot of time and energy into Diddy, his music, his lifestyle, wanting to be like Diddy. I mean, think about this. There's a lot of people, I don't know how recently, but when he's in his heyday, and it goes with anyone. If you are so vested in trying to be like someone and to follow in those footsteps and be successful and have money and have influence, we'll say influence and not power and manipulation, and have all these skills that you coveted in him, then you're going to want to continue to believe that, because to invalidate what your whole ideal was for where you want to go in life would be invalidating your self-identity. We as human beings do not like to do that, because as much as he'd have to reinvent himself in order to be on that path of redemption, those that follow him and think that that's the way to go would have to do the same thing to their own identity. Yeah. And that's why he's got people sign up for his class in prison. It's not because, they found him to be a Mother Teresa in there, like all of a sudden we're going to reform our lives. They're like, all right, I kind of screwed it up my way. He seemed to have it all figured out. Let's follow him for a while, unless he doesn't get off. I mean, so it'll be really interesting.
It's going to be fascinating to see the next chapter, because I mean, at some point he is going to get out. If he survives, which I don't think he's not going to. But there's going to be another chapter. It's going to be. I feel like it's going to be a train wreck in some way, shape, or form. It's just how bad of a train wreck is it going to be, and how many people are going to be damaged by it. That's the question.
He's not spiritual enough for me for reform yet. I mean, you have the Malcolm X's that go into prison and come out a completely different human being because they had a firm message of social reform. And so think about that too. The people we see that have gone into prison that come out different are the ones that actually had a message of trying to be social justice warriors, and then they had these aha moments of figuring out, wow, that wasn't the way to do it. And so they have this spiritual awakening inside, and then it's years and years of figuring out how to manifest that into a better way to communicate that for social justice. Diddy is not a social justice warrior. He's a warrior for himself. And so there's a big difference. And so he's trying to align himself as a social justice warrior framework of this reformation. But really, he's in there because he was all about him, not because he was doing violence for the sake of social justice and rationalizing, as we've seen in these other cases. No, he went in there because he was completely serving himself and no one else.
Yeah.
He's just sorry he got caught.
Yep.
Yeah.
Words I've used repeatedly in the last year. Yeah, you're just sorry you got caught. You're not sorry for your actions.
And that,
poor Stacey.
And that letter is just a very narcissistic way of trying to spin it. and put a little icing on it and make everybody go, ain't this delicious? Not going to happen. Robin Dreeke, retired FBI special agent, former chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program. As always, thank you so much for joining us. And Monday, we will be talking more about, unless something blows up over the weekend, and I hope to God it doesn't. I will be talking about the judge and the sheriff, Mickey Steins.
Yeah.
And some new revelations there, which is kind of fascinating from some new reporting from Brian Enton of News Nation.
Yeah, I love Brian Enton. He's just good.
Robin, thank you so much. Let's move on now to our dear friend Donna Adelson. What happens when the queen of a dental dynasty trades designer shoes for shower slides?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm thinking some sexy photos is what I'm thinking right there.
No.
Donna in only shower slides.
I can't get that on my head.
I'm going into AI right now, Tony, just for you.
Bravo.
Great.
And then we'll play Kylie Minogue, Can't Get You Out of My Head, to multiple images of Donna. I just can't get you out of my head. And it's all Donna in shower slides. And Harvey peeking around the corner.
Ew.
In just a Speedo.
No, make it stop.
If anybody is listening to this as they're going to bed, sweet dreams. And then every once in a while, Charlie peeks around the corner. Mommy, Daddy.
Ew.
Can I have a snack? I'm thirsty. Can Mama?
God, don't. No, I know exactly where you're headed. Don't go there.
Come here, little Charlie.
No.
I got the chocolate syrup out. It's time for milk time. This happened just weeks before Charlie was convicted. He's been facing prison now for quite some time without mother's milk, and he's doing okay.
Can I go now? Can I go?
No.
Donna Adelson is about to find out what life is like in prison. 75 years old, convicted of first-degree murder. She's staring down a Florida prison sentence that offers no parole, no early release, no sympathy. But prison doesn't care how much you used to be worth. It cares if you can shut up, show up, and survive the heat, the noise, and the rules written in blood, sweat, and ramen packets. In this breakdown, we're going to be pulling apart the life and what life actually looks like for a woman like Donna, based on firsthand stories, Department of Justice reports, and the hard truth from women who've been inside. It's not a country club sentence. This is the Florida DOC. And once you're in, the only thing that matters is whether you can last. So let's break it down. And as you may be seeing right now, or you're, there we go. We got Donna. We'll run this as we kind of have our conversation here. Donna Adelson being transported. Is it playing right now? Is it just Donna not on the screen?
Yeah,
okay.
She's coming.
Oh, she's coming. We were waiting for Donna to get into the van.
Yep.
And this is, it's, I just found it fascinating looking at this.
What are we looking at right now?
This is the back of the van, and here she comes.
Oh, okay, now I see it. Okay.
Here she comes, Donna Adelson.
Oh my God, I was going to sing with you on that. That's exactly where I was going.
There she is. Can I get into the van?
So when is this from, Tony? Do you know? Is it like right after?
This is her being transported after the trial. So she has been she's been found guilty. This is now her, going back to jail because she's currently housed, I believe, at the Leon County Jail, waiting sentencing on October 14th. And this is, once you've convicted a narcissist, what you get. Her actions are speaking louder than words on this. There really wasn't much audio on this area. It was just kind of her getting in the van. And then it's silence. It's the ride. And you see her kind of, shaking with the road as she goes, and her having a moment to soak in her new reality moments after she was sentenced to life in prison.
And think of this. Now, we're watching this, so if you're listening, you can't see it. But think of this. You were just told you were guilty. Right? Mm-hmm. We saw the outburst in the courtroom, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Look at her sitting here.
She's very composed.
I would be losing my shizzle if I were just told that I was found guilty, right, of something that I think we all believe she did. And she's just kind of sitting there. She does have a few moments here, if you watch, of her kind of getting a little what looks like upset. But upset to Donna apparently is not upset to the rest of us. Look at her.
Yeah, I think I'd be inconsolable. Like, snot running out of my nose, tears running down my face, head in my hands. She's just sitting there. Can she look out the window? I don't know. Is there anything for her to see?
I mean, there's some light coming in. Look at this. I don't know if she's shouting up to the front or what she's doing there. But...
I'm innocent.
Can we stop for coffee? I'm thirsty.
Yeah, we just passed Starbucks.
I was just. That's the vibe I'm getting off of this whole thing. She's not looking at the world in any way of like accepting her responsibility. She is still looking at the world of, I did the right thing. Nobody else understands me. I'm persecuted, poor me. And that's how she's going to die. I don't think her brain is capable of thinking it in any other direction. Otherwise, she should have taken the off-ramp a long time ago. And now the ramp is slowly going to lead directly to a cell for the rest of her life. I mean, how do you think this is going to go for her? Going from, she has been in jail now for quite some time, but prison life is going to be different. How do you think this is going? The psychological shock of going from, the country club reception to the moment the system has decided that you're going to spend the rest of your life behind bars.
It's ugly. I bet it's just absolutely ugly for her, and she's probably trying to figure out how she can manipulate the system in prison. How can she make that system work for her?
I think she's always thinking about that. In every situation in her life, I think she was thinking about, how can I make this be the best thing it can be for me?
Yeah.
It's never been about what's best for someone else. And I think, okay, at this point in her life, it's kind of late to change your mind and be somebody that you're not. But she is definitely, Stacey, you're right. She is thinking about, how can I turn these lemons into lemonade?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when used productively, it's a good skill.
Yeah, right.
Well, there she is. She's sitting there talking to herself, trying to reason this out in her mind.
Do you think she's talking to somebody?
No, there's no one there to talk to. And you couldn't, because I tried to listen to the audio. You really can't hear anything she's saying. It's just kind of, she's just sitting there yabbering to herself.
I wonder if she's singing a song.
I was kind of wondering that too. Like, what do you think,
like
Donna?
What song?
Yeah, what do you think she's? God, I wish I could read lips. I should have my girlfriend look at this because she can read lips.
Can she really?
Yeah, because she doesn't have great hearing, so she's learned how to do that.
Never gonna give you up.
Yeah, right.
In the voice of Donna, though, like, never gonna give you up, never going to let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, Wendy. You need to fill my commissary. The prison Donna will likely call home is this. Most women serving sentences in Florida end up at the Lowell Correctional Institution. It's one of the country's largest and most troubled women's facilities. Doesn't that look like a nice place to stay? Look at that. They got their own water tower and everything. Perfect for jumping off of.
We never walk alone, it says. That's their motto.
Isn't that sweet?
You're never alone, kids.
It's a weird.
Wow.
Why do you even have a statement? Why do you have a slogan on your prison?
I didn't grab the picture, but there's a picture of another sign like that says, "Welcome to Lowell Correctional." And it's like, oh, that's nice. A nice welcoming thing. That's awesome.
Come on in. Big old wreath. Do they have like potpourri like there ready? Remember like in the 80s where it'd be potpourri on top of like every toilet that's also carpeted?
Yeah.
There's a cell at Lowell.
Oh, if you're not watching this on YouTube, you are missing out.
Do you think Donna is someone who...
Oh, my God.
In her home with Harvey, do you think that she still had potpourri on top of her toilet that was carpeted? And do you think she had the little carpet square underneath the toilet, too?
And the toilet seat that was carpeted?
Yes.
Yep.
Why did we ever stop...
And the padded seat.
Ooh,
oh, God, I hate the padded seat. I hate it.
Especially when you
Hate
get
it.
on it and it's already warm because somebody else just used it.
And because it's so worn, there it's indented with the
Yes.
person's ass cheeks.
Oh,
you know?
God.
Especially when they're cracked too, and then you
And,
get
and it gets like sharp.
like the pleather kind of like you know,
Yeah.
chopping up at your ass. Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny that we've all had experience.
We
with
all
those.
have. Mainly at my grandma's house, you know, you get your butt sliced by the plastic, you know, walk
do.
out going, what the hell just happened to me?
I wonder if those will ever come back. Do you think they'll ever bring
God, I
back?
hope not. I hope not.
And whose idea was it to let's put carpet at the one place where you're going to get pee to stain it and hit it right underneath the toilet? Of like,
Whoa. Are you not hitting the bowl properly, Tony?
no, of course I'm not. No man ever does.
Listen, Stacy, let me just say this.
Come on.
Doesn't matter how well you aim, you're at a distance, so there's going to be splatter. Period.
Sit
It's
down.
going to happen. It's
Sit
going
down.
to happen. I'll sit down. I enjoy sitting down because it gives me because it's like one of the few times of the day I can just kind of like do this.
Yeah,
and
you can chill.
yeah. So I do a lot of chilling in the bathroom. I do sit down sometimes even when I don't need to sit down. I'm just like I'm gonna take
just
myself
sit.
5 minutes here. I'm gonna catch up on the
Yep.
news and do that.
Women everywhere will thank you for sitting down so there isn't splashback. Okay, I'm just saying.
Look, splashback is an inevitable fact of life, and that's what we're just going to have to accept. But what we don't have to accept is putting pieces of carpet remnant underneath our toilets. That seemed to be counterintuitive.
Such an 80s thing.
Well, you have a laminate floor, you know, with all the little squares and bricks like everybody had, and then rather than just wipe up the laminate with a piece of toilet paper or something, if you're a considerate male that does that,
I was gonna say
it's far easier to just do that. You know, take a little, you know, brownie, and
How did we get
clean it up,
here?
and it'll you'll get it done. But if it's in the carpeting, what the hell is that? Who thought that was a good? I guess it covers it up. It actually alleviates you having to wipe it up because you can't because it's in the carpet. It
Well,
must
and you
be
don't
something
even
a
know
guy
it's
came
there.
up with. I mean,
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And you probably don't even know that you did it because it's in carpet.
exactly. So I think a guy came up with it, and women's kept buying it.
They thought it was pretty, right?
Yeah, I guess that's what it was. It was the pretty, but you never saw a design on him. There was always just a solid color.
No,
Yeah.
but then you get the toilet paper that matched. So if you had pink carpeting, you'd have pink toilet paper or the light blue. And let me just say this. If we do nothing else with this podcast, if we make no other difference in people's lives, I just hope that we can do away with the carpet in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a high standard for me.
If you're still putting carpet in your bathroom, seek help. There is help out there. It does get better.
It does.
And I just want you to know that once you remove the carpet from around your toilet seat, life will improve. It will.
So I'm going to find a way to change the subject here. We've had a few people in the chat tell us that this was after her initial arrest, maybe not after the verdict because of the clothing she's wearing. So I'm not 100% sure about that, but thanks for the comments. We'll get it figured out.
This houses over 2,900 inmates, many in open bay dorms without air conditioning. A 2020 DOJ report found widespread SA by staff
Oh my gosh.
and systematic failures to protect inmates.
Yikes.
The facility was described as leaving women at substantial risk. While Florida claims to have reformed, PREA audits continue, and the facility's reputation really has not recovered as of right now. So that's something that one has to consider when going into a facility like this. Disturbing. I don't know what kind of risk Donna Adelson is at 75 years old, but I think anybody in that sort of environment, anything is possible. But it is also a prison.
If it's SA, it's not necessarily, it could be just related on hate and all that kind of stuff too. If people feel badly enough about what she's done, that might put her, front and
At a higher
center for
risk.
something like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I also read a story about how They had like water problems at the facility, and they knew about it and never did anything. And the prisoners all were getting sick and stuff like that. So this is not a good place for someone like Donna Adelson at all.
Our prisons honestly scare the shit out of me because they're
getting worse.
And you take Donna out of the equation. Just take everybody out of the equation for a second. There's like so little oversight in these facilities. It's like, okay, well, we sentence people, we try them this way, we do it publicly, we go, okay, here's what's going to happen. But it's like a whole other world once you get there with, like, just you're at the mercy of who's privately running most of these facilities. They're not elected, they're not chosen, there's no maybe there's self-regulation if somebody has principles, but a lot of times you don't, and you have people that are running this stuff, with some vengeance. And I know prison's not supposed to be a great place, but it also, we have to maintain some basic human rights and dignity. And I feel like we're kind of getting to a place where it doesn't exist, and there's no one there to stop really inhumane treatment by some very underqualified human beings that happen to get a job there because they couldn't get a job anywhere else. And now they're looking out for other humans. And we know not everybody that goes to prison or jail is actually guilty or is violent or deserves some of the stuff they're getting. Look at the Richard Allen case in Delphi. Yeah. I mean, you tortured a man. And then that's what they got out of it. They got him to say crazy things that make little to no sense. Like he's going to kill his grandkids that don't exist. And then he killed the kids too. But that, came right after he was eating a nice big bite of his own shit. Literally. So there's a lot to be fixed in this system. And it's easy when we see people like this to look at the circus of it and go, yeah, they had what's coming to them.
Right.
And they do. They do to a certain extent. But we can't become as animalistic as them. And that's the scary thing. We saw it in the Kohberger case, too, where the cell blocks that he was in solitary, they were flooding his because they knew a way to get the water from their cells to rain down into Kohberger land.
Oh, it must just be torture for him.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not.
And
I don't
just
have a problem
as
with
I
it.
preach about how we need to be more good, it's
Right.
but that's the crux of it. That's the human aspect of it. And if we're gonna have the okay for that person, but what about this person over here? It's emotions overtake some of these things that really emotions just shouldn't be involved in. There should just be strict standards. Here's how we're handling it. No matter who you are, where you are, why you're here, there should just be, here's what it is. And it doesn't have to be nice. It doesn't have to be great, but it also doesn't have to be continually abusive either. It is supposed to be the correction system, not let's make them even more violent and horrible when they come out system, which is what we have more than anything, because we like to poke the monkeys with sticks and anger the animals in the cages and that sort of stuff. And they're humans. They are humans. And if you want them to come out worse, keep doing that.
Well, it would be great if it were some sort of a rehab where we focused on mental health and why are they there in the first place. It'd be great.
Well, it would be helpful if we focused on mental health before they ended up there too.
Right.
There's
Because that would be preventative, because otherwise you're putting a Band-Aid on the problem. But I completely agree with you, Stacey. Yes, it would be great if they did. If we did it beforehand, we wouldn't have to fill these damn things up so high now.
Yeah.
Heat, noise, and no privacy. That's the other big complaint in the land of Donna Adelson behind bars, or the new prison that she's going to be heading into. You might imagine prison is quiet and isolating. In reality, it's constant noise, it's heat, it's movement. And get this one, no AC in most of the dorms. Temperatures inside routinely exceed 100 degrees in summer. Older inmates are especially vulnerable. Donna's 75. Inmates fight over floor space near fans. Sleep is disrupted nightly by shouting, toilets clanking keys, and court procedures. Lights never fully go dark. You shower in groups, use the toilet in public, and adjust to zero privacy. Do you think Donna is going to survive? And I'm not saying as in someone's going to take Donna out.
Yeah,
I'm saying she's going to be on suicide watch, I would
yes,
think.
she is. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Those conditions sound deplorable to me. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do that.
I think if this is, and there's no way out, there ain't no end to this in sight, and you're already 75, I think I'd be looking for an out too.
I wonder if it's going to take a toll on her health without her taking things into her own hands, that she's just going to go on this downward spiral decline. And that's it.
And just like naturally die?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's
Quicker.
very possible. Very possible.
Not having, darkness at night, not getting good sleep. She's at a point now where she needs these things. The older you get, the more frail you are. She is going to be suffering.
Yeah.
Physically and mentally. It's going to take a toll.
I can't imagine living like this at 43, more or less 75.
Right. Oh, God.
It would be,
And I think if you look at her, and obviously we're talking about 10 years with all this going on or more, she is not aged well.
No.
If you look at her when she was arrested, trying to get out of the country and all that, look at her now.
Yeah.
Not
She's very different.
very different.
Okay, honest question, and I know none of us know the answer, unless you learned it somewhere else, but I don't believe any of us have ever been in prison. How the hell...
I walked through one.
How the hell do they make the prison liquor in the toilets? And then are you not allowed, do you just not use the toilet? What the hell do you do?
Probably use the sink.
If you're fermenting shit in your toilet, why wouldn't you make the liquor in the sink then? It's probably easier to hide in the toilet.
Yeah, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, right?
How do you poop, though?
That's what I'm asking.
So, except he was trying to do it a little bit more eloquently.
Sorry, I'm the blunt one here in this group. So if you want something said,
how do you excrete?
How do you defecate? Okay?
How do you defecate? I don't know. I mean, or is that just part of the 7 herbs and spices that end up in the wine?
I looked it up.
Okay,
how do we do it?
I
don't have to. Good.
You actually do it in the tank, not the actual toilet. But there's still a risk of contamination and all that kind of stuff.
You do it in the tank. Okay. Do they all have tanks? Show me that picture of the thing again. The cell. There was a toilet there. There's no tank.
That one doesn't have a tank.
Because you think of, most public toilets and commercial toilets don't have tanks.
Right.
So what do you do if you don't have a tank? Todd's gonna find the answer.
There's no tank there. It's just the bowl.
I bet it's on the Martha Stewart website. From her time in prison. I bet she made. Do you
think she has a recipe book?
I bet she made some mulled cider in the toilet tank.
That sounds interesting.
I made some delicious mulled cider from.
It's a good thing.
From apple juice, from applesauce.
To be honest, if she didn't make a cookbook out of that or a lifestyle book, she should have.
Yeah.
That'd be a great cookbook, prison cooking.
I always thought so.
I did a bit once on the radio where it was vending machine cuisine. And I had chefs actually come in and they had to create gourmet dishes out of things only found in the vending machine, and the only cooking utensils they could use were what was found in the radio station's break room. So that included a coffee machine, which had a burner on it, and that was used to cook and make some interesting things. It was a fun little bit. Unfortunately, it was radio, and you couldn't see anything, and there was no social media yet, so it kind of missed the mark a little bit. But it was interesting. Then we paired it with Jones sodas, the Thanksgiving ones, like the turkey flavor and things like that. It was wonderful.
Wow. Well, you're a creative soul. That's for you. I never. When I was on radio for, 18 years, 19 years, I never had an idea like that. Not once. Not once.
There's a lot of things in vending machines. You can saute up those meat sticks pretty good, Stacy, just in case you ever need to. A coffee burner, it does work wonders if you have the heat, the heating element, to use.
And I have not had my meat stick today. This is a tradition that I'm breaking today.
There you
I'm
go.
worried. Yeah.
We got a question, which I think is an interesting question. Who's worse, Donna or Diddy? That could be a contest. Donna or Diddy? Donna or Diddy?
It depends what you believe Diddy did or didn't do.
Right.
I think that's the question. If you believe he did a lot more than what he's convicted of, Diddy. I mean, they're both horrible. I mean, you know, there's the wake. They're both raging narcissists. Mm-hmm. So basically, if you're going like sheer numbers, who affected more people negatively and traumatically in their lifespan? Diddy would have likely done that. In terms of life and death, I think that's up in the air because I think that you likely have some of that connected to Diddy too. Don't know how, don't know where, but I'm gonna guess if truly investigated or if the evidence existed, you would find death associated or connected some way, shape, or form. That's my conjecture. Okay. Obviously, we know it with Donna, but who's worse? They were both tornadoes to every person in their life, and just destruction paths. Both are horrible. Yeah. Donna, of course, used to being in charge in her freedom. Now that's not going to be such a thing, as Donna Adelson is about to be facing life in prison. Her sentencing coming up on the 18th of October, and we'll bring that to you. We're taking a look now at what life will be like in prison for Donna as we see her. If you're watching us on YouTube, the prison transport as she looks down, looks around, sings some songs, and continues to wallow in her own self-delusions. In prison,
I think she's in her mind right now. She's kind of holding her hands to her face right now, if you can't see it.
They're probably pulling up to the place, and she's freaking out.
Could be.
Like, oh, shit.
This is it, Donna.
She's thinking, this is just an Uber, Donna. This is just an Uber. Think of it as an Uber.
In prison, power doesn't come from wealth. It comes from adaptability, respect, and quiet calculation. All things we know Donna's masters at.
Yeah.
She is the master class in all of those things of adaptability, respect, and quiet calculation. Quiet calculation, I guess. You could get that one. Every flavor inside has a price. Braid your hair or favor. Braid your hair, wash your clothes, write your letters, cost you commissary items. The guests at the prison have described a hidden economy of under the stairs salons, laundry services, massages, and food bartering. Donna
stairs?
Won't understand that world at first. Well, I mean, it's a metaphor.
Yeah, right. But I wonder where all of this really takes place. You know, where do they give the massages? Mm-hmm. You know, is it in a quiet corner and people are kind of watching? Like keeping lookout. How does that work?
Donna doesn't seem to have a lot of emotional regulation. I don't think that's going to fare well for her behind bars.
Yeah.
I mean, prison is designed to strip you of anything, of your status. And inmates, they adapt by building new social, currency inside, social circles, if you will. What gang do you think Donna's going to join?
Ooh. The bitching grandmas.
I was just going to say, it's got to have the word grandma in it, whatever the name is.
Do you think it exists? Do you think there's like a grandma group in prison that is badass?
God, I hope so.
I
hope so. I want there to be. Maybe they get together and they make like jailhouse cookies or something. Not the hooch, but cookies.
Whenever you make when you feel like you grind up ramen into flour and then whatever you do. Yeah.
See, you're the creative one here.
What they do is instead of making like a knife or a gun out of a bar of soap, they make knitting needles and then they make granny squares and put them together and sell them for cigarettes.
I'm going to guess Donna Adelson has never picked up a needle and thread in her life.
You think so? I don't know.
I don't know. She seems to be like one that, everything's just been kind of handed to her. I don't know that there's a lot of, I don't know. She doesn't strike me as a knitter.
I don't know if she's necessarily a knitter, but
I would think that there would also be contraband. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to do the, some sort of way of making that because it'd all be contraband, a knitting needle or even the yarn itself.
True.
She is reportedly on suicide watch, which means solitary confinement, no sheets and no personal items, and surveillance 24/7, at least at the beginning, is what she'll likely be facing because of the high profileness of the case. The guests there say suicide watch is often more traumatizing than general population. If Donna stays in her denial, her mental health, it's likely to decline. But if she accepts her reality, she may stabilize. Do you think she's adaptable? I don't
No.
know.
She's never had a grasp on reality her entire life.
No.
She just has not. Her reality is the one that she makes in her mind, whether it's true or not in real life. She's never had a sense of what reality is.
I do wonder about items and how this is all going to work, what she's going to have, what she's going to get. I have no idea what their financial situation is anymore. I'm guessing Harvey's the one that's going to be filling the canteen.
Who else would, right?
And wouldn't that make you, if you know that there are some resources there, and look, no matter what she has left, I'm sure there's something left, and probably a hell of a lot more than what most people have on the outside. That's what I'm wondering is what's going to happen on the inside with people knowing, well, you got Harvey out there that can, get you what you need, and you got your weekly spending cap of $150 on commissary items. How much do you think Donna's going to be getting those items or using them to barter for her own safety or?
Oh, it's currency all the way.
Yeah.
Well, besides this, that's assuming that Harvey never ends up behind bars himself.
Right.
True.
So that could put a wrench into that whole thing for her.
Mm-hmm. I do wonder exactly where and what, how this will all work out for Donna at the end of the day. Corrections officers can't physically assist women due to liability. So if she falls, they have to wait for the medical staff.
Oh, my gosh.
Many
boy.
older inmates end up in bed, unable to move, with no real end-of-life care because it's basically what inmates will provide for each other. So it would be in Donna's best interests, it seems, to make some friends.
Yeah. Yeah, it would. I think that's exactly what she's doing. She's forming her posse as best as she can. Being on suicide watch, I imagine she's kind of in isolation at this point with very little things, around her for obvious reasons. And I'm sorry I said that word. But yeah, I think once she finally accepts reality and gets back into Gen Pop, I think she's probably forming an alliance.
I'm just not so sure. I think that this may be the first time in her life that she doesn't have the control she's always had.
I don't think she's
Good
capable
point.
of forming an alliance,
She had the alliance of her family. She may have had the alliance of her quote unquote friends in life.
Yeah.
But this is really the first time where I don't know if she's going to be able to pull this off.
You don't think that she's going to prey on some weak people behind bars and make them her bitch?
I think she is a weak person behind bars.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that anybody who's got to find a way to find toilet paper to wipe their ass may not be, that's going to weaken her a lot. This is an inconvenience to her. She had the conveniences all her life of getting everything she wanted, having the money, having the family, all that. So she had the mindset to be able to create all this bullshit in her life. She doesn't have that anymore. Our tag was caviar to commissary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she can deal with that.
No. I mean, this is someone when you look at this, I don't think she has the mental ability to do so. I mean, and this, look at her. I mean, she's feeling sorry for herself. She's in I guess one would probably, no matter what, if you're in that sort of situation, but that's not going to help her. Her self-pitying and her, I was so wrongfully accused. I'm sure in her mind she thinks she's going to walk in there and she's going to tell her story and people are going to be, oh yeah, they did you wrong. They're going to look at her and laugh. They're going to look at her and laugh at her bullshit and laugh at her self-pity, and then they're going to shank her. No. but I mean, it's not going to work. It's not, I mean, and if she's annoying as shit to people, yeah, it's not going to work out. Her stories, her bullshit, her self-aggrandizing, nobody cares. She's just another one of them. And what has Donna always wanted to be? Not one of them. She always wanted to be above and beyond everybody else. She thinks that she can bend the rules. They don't apply to her. She's a freaking narcissist. And she still plays by the rules. And just because you put a narcissist in a cage doesn't mean they stop being a narcissist. And that's the reality, I think, of what you're about to get. That's why, I mean, even with no sound, it is fascinating to watch her in this car being transported, because it is a narcissist in a cage. And you don't get to see that very often. They get away with so much shit, and they just continue to go on with life and causing chaos to others. And you don't see them finally being forced to stop, to be removed from the population to which they tormented their entire lives. Mm-hmm. And they don't know how to handle it. I don't think they can handle it, a lot of them. But I guess the question here begs, do even the guilty, like her, deserve basic dignity as they deteriorate? What happens when prisons become nursing homes?
Oh, this is a tough one for me, because being the empathic person that I am, I always feel like people deserve a certain level, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And I agree. A certain level.
God dang it. What a nasty individual. And I'm sorry, but there's also a part of me that's like, she needs to suffer a little bit.
Yeah.
Let her suffer a little bit.
Florida provides kosher meals to inmates who request them. They often include better food items like canned juices, packaged snacks, and meat substitutes. So even if you're not kosher, I think I'd be requesting the kosher meal.
Mm-hmm, I would too.
If you get something better, why not? So
I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all.
I don't think so either, but it seems to be how it works.
If you're in prison, people may hate me for this, but your religion goes out the window. You can practice however you want to practice, but that shit...
Your diet is out. Yeah, I agree.
Well, that is part of the religion, though. It is part of...
I know, but I don't
your
think
diet,
it's fair.
I think the diet goes out the fucking window.
Yep, me too.
I don't care. It's, vegetarian. I don't care. I don't care. You're in prison.
Well, you have violated the rules of our civilized society.
We're going to violate the rules of your diet. Ooh.
We're going to violate the rules of your colon. You're going to have meat, damn it,
exactly.
Or you're not going to have meat or whatever.
Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with something like it's. It's not like you're not torturing the person, telling them to eat something that they are choosing not to because of a religion, because of dietary preferences, because of whatever fucking thing in their mind that tells them they can't consume the food that is nutritious for them, that can continue to sustain their life. That's on them. Don't eat it, then don't eat it.
Well, hopefully that is a deterrent for some people. It
certainly would be for. That's the only reason I'm not in prison, guys. It's the only reason I haven't gone off and turned into the equalizer. I couldn't eat the fucking food.
Right. Tony, I could see that.
It's kind of true.
In the case, right? Yeah, exactly.
But no,
we're getting a glimpse here, aren't we?
Yeah. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
As we slowly back up. Yeah.
The thinning of the veil. You're seeing what's beyond the veil. So, that's interesting that you can request that sort of stuff. If you remember the Kohberger case, he was requesting originally that food be made only prepared in pans that have not touched meat.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I would do? I'd
take the pan.
Oh, yes. Right in front of them.
Smear a steak right in front,
I would get the pan real hot and just bring it up to Kohberger. Okay, no meat, but you know what? It's vegetables. Here you go. And I would literally press the hot pan against his face. Here you go.
Well,
Here you go, Bri.
You can't do that.
You can't. I know. They have rules.
They do. Some.
You want your vegetables? Here they are. No parole. There's no appeal. There's no other plan here. No exit strategy. Florida's mandatory life sentence means exactly that.
Bye, Donna.
And even if there was, appeals take years with very, very little shot of success. And let's be honest, Donna doesn't have a lot of that left.
I was going to say, the clock is ticking here.
So at the end here, as we observe Donna behind bars, is she on your death pool for 2025 or 2026?
I don't have a list this year. Typically, I do. My strategy has been,
there's never been a better time.
We may have to do our Deadpool.
So
This is for 2026.
all right. You know the internet craze with the Jet 2 holiday thing? Have you guys all seen that?
No.
Where they use the commercial for Jet 2 holidays, and it's people in really bad situations, and it's talking about getting your holiday put together, your vacation. All I can think of when I watch this video of Donna riding off in the paddy wagon there is the Jet 2 holiday song, the jingle. Because this would be a vacation from hell for anybody.
Yes, it would.
I'm hearing Holiday Road.
Of course you are.
I'm hearing Lindsey Buckingham, Holiday Road.
The Go-Go's Vacation, right?
Yes.
Could do
yes.
that. Holiday from Madonna.
Yeah.
We could put together a Donna Adelson playlist.
Girls just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We could just like Chad Daybell's playlist.
Bitch better have my money.
Donna, baby, I got your money. Don't you worry. Said, hey. Speaking of which, I'm wondering, do we have any more letters from Chad?
Yeah. Oh my God. We were so busy this week. We didn't get to that.
There is a new letter from Chad. We'll have to touch it next week.
Promise? Do
Yes.
not. Okay. Yeah. We need to do that. We can't let people down. I crave these letters.
You crave these.
I crave these letters.
It's a
can you
great
say?
statement.
The gal enjoys meat sticks and Chad Daybell letters. I mean,
She craves them.
that's on her dating profile, I think.
I did not have to create one, thankfully.
Swipe right.
No. No, I got lucky. I didn't have to create one. I'm good.
I'm trying to see if there's anything interesting in the music section here. It looks like he gets into Christian rock, which to me is nails on a fucking chalkboard.
Yeah. I tried at one point in my life to get into that stuff because I was going to get a job at a Christian radio station.
Yeah.
I couldn't. The problem is it's all the same lyrics. It's almost as bad as country because it's always about God and belief and love. And it's like, I don't know, throw some fun in there. A little sex, little drugs.
Let's put a little just life context in some of the songs.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's like, had I'm saved and this, like, okay. I mean, I get it, but it's like the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
I like variety. I like, oh, this is a story of this. This is a story of that. A better variety from the 80s, 90s, and today to pick you up and make you feel good. The no repeat workday guarantee on Sunny 97. I can't do it. No offense to anybody who likes it. It's just, it ain't my jam.
Yeah.
It's just not. Then when I walk into a church too, I get this really weird. I start shaking and I get really hot and I start sweating. And there's like the circle with this like weird star type thing that starts coming out of my skin.
Okay. Hold up. People are gonna be like, wait a minute, what's with this?
The
Tony
pentagram
guy?
is what I'm told. I don't know why it happens, but it's alarming. But thankfully, there's Pentrellix, where all you have to do is take one of those a day. You can walk into any church, and the pentagrams won't automatically burn through your flesh.
Oh my God.
Of course, it could give you a deadly diarrhea. But other than that, it'll get rid of the pentagrams on your palm.
Don't take Pentrellix if you're allergic to Pentrellix.
That's my favorite part of those disclaimers.
Right?
Don't take it if you're allergic to it. Well, no shit, Sherlock.
I feel like we should remove that one and let anybody take it that's allergic to it, because it's like, well, that's natural selection right there. If you know you're allergic and you're taking it, and you needed someone to tell you not to take it because you're allergic. Like, if that's it, it's like, don't put the gun at your head and pull the trigger because there might be a bullet in it. It's like, okay, just don't do that to begin with. That's not a good idea.
Don't run in traffic. I don't know.
Don't play in traffic because you might get hit by a car. Yeah. Donna Adelson, her future, so bright, she got to wear shades. We'll work on our death pool for next week.
I think we should have a playlist that we put together for each of the people we cover. And then we'll just post it occasionally on social media, and people can add their
put it on
songs to
Spotify, you guys.
Oh,
Make an actual Hidden Killers playlist. Yeah, this is real.
We could do that.
We could totally do that.
Why
not?
Can you put like a graphic up for your own playlist?
Absolutely.
I think
We could put a Donna Adelson graphic. Well, our podcast is on Spotify, so I mean, people, Oh, that would be interesting. We should create our own playlist.
I remember watching Ted Lasso, and they put out a playlist of like the locker room music that they would, listen to, wink, wink, even though, it was fictional. But it was interesting because it kind of played into the series. It was like a behind the scene things. We should totally do that.
All right. Well, we got one coming up for Chad for sure. And
Yes.
I think we're starting to build Donna's. So just think of the hits you're going to get to listen to at work between true crime podcasts.
See?
Get excited. This is going to be amazing. And I think it's going to wrap up this week of true crime coverage. Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section on YouTube about, what's the future hold for Miss Donna and all the other cases that we've been covering for you right here. For Todd, for Stacy, I'm Tony Bruschi. We'll talk again real soon.
Want more on this case and others? Then press subscribe now and don't miss a moment of true crime coverage from Tony Bruschi and the Hidden Killers podcast.